Habit 1. Begin every day with clear intention. Most people don't lose their focus because they lack intelligence. They lose it because they start each day without direction. They wake up and immediately react to the world around them. Messages demand attention. News headlines create anxiety. Social media invites endless scrolling. Before they've even had breakfast, someone else has already taken control of their mind. The Stoics believed this was one of the greatest mistakes a person could make. Marcus Aurelius developed a different routine. Before allowing the world to influence his thoughts, he spent time preparing his own mind. Each morning, he reminded himself that he would encounter challenges, difficult people, unexpected setbacks, and moments of frustration. Instead of fearing these obstacles, he accepted them as part of life. This simple habit gave him clarity before the day's distractions had a chance to appear. Imagine starting every morning with complete awareness of your priorities. Instead of asking, "What do I feel like doing today?" ask yourself, "What is the most important thing I must accomplish today?" That one question immediately shifts your attention from emotion to purpose. It reminds you that focus is a decision, not a feeling. Successful people rarely wait until they feel motivated. They decide what matters first and allow their actions to follow. Another powerful Stoic practice is to identify your biggest distraction before it happens. Maybe it's checking your phone every few minutes. Maybe it's procrastinating on difficult tasks or constantly switching between projects. Once you recognize your greatest distraction, you can prepare for it instead of being surprised by it. The Stoics believed that awareness is the first step toward self-mastery. You cannot overcome a habit you refuse to acknowledge. Tomorrow morning, before touching your phone or opening any apps, spend 5 quiet minutes reflecting. Breathe deeply, clear your mind, and write down the single most important task you must complete that day. Promise yourself that no distraction will come before that priority. This small ritual may seem insignificant, but practiced consistently, it transforms the way you think. Instead of reacting to life, you begin directing it. This first habit is the foundation of every other Stoic principle you'll learn in this video. When you begin each day with intention instead of distraction, your focus becomes stronger, your decisions become wiser, and your life begins to move in the direction you truly want. But morning intention alone isn't enough. To protect your focus throughout the day, you must learn the next Stoic habit, a principle that has changed countless lives for centuries. Habit 2. Focus only on what you can control. Have you ever spent hours worrying about something that never actually happened? Maybe you feared failing an interview, losing an opportunity, or being judged by others. You replayed different scenarios in your mind, searching for the perfect outcome, only to realize later that none of your worrying changed the situation. This is one of the greatest traps that steals our focus. The Stoics understood that the mind becomes exhausted when it tries to control things beyond its reach. They believed that true freedom begins the moment you stop wasting energy on what you cannot change. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic teachers, built his philosophy around a simple but life-changing idea: some things are within our control, and some things are not. Your thoughts, choices, actions, and attitude belong to you. Other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, unexpected setbacks, and the past do not. Yet many people spend most of their lives thinking about the second group instead of the first. As a result, they become anxious, distracted, and emotionally drained. Imagine trying to row a boat while constantly fighting the current instead of steering toward your destination. You'll become exhausted without making much progress. This is exactly what happens when you focus on circumstances you cannot control. Every minute spent worrying about the future or regretting the past is a minute taken away from the work you could be doing right now. The Stoics didn't ignore reality, they simply refused to surrender their peace of mind to events outside their influence. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, political conflict, disease, and personal tragedy while ruling the Roman Empire. Despite these enormous challenges, he continually reminded himself to focus on his own actions rather than the chaos around him. He knew that although he couldn't control every event, he could always control his response. That mindset allowed him to remain calm under pressure while others were consumed by fear and uncertainty. His example reminds us that focus is not created by having a perfect life but by choosing the right perspective. The next time you feel overwhelmed, pause for a moment and ask yourself one powerful question: is this within my control? If the answer is yes, stop worrying and take action. Even a small step forward is better than endless overthinking. If the answer is no, acknowledge it, accept it, and release it. Acceptance is not weakness. It is the wisdom to recognize where your energy will make the greatest difference. One practical exercise is to divide a sheet of paper into 2 columns. On one side, write everything that is worrying you today. On the other side, circle only the items you can actually influence through your actions. Then commit your full attention to those items and let the rest go. You may be surprised by how few things truly deserve your mental energy. This simple habit trains your brain to return its attention to what matters instead of wandering into unnecessary stress. At first, this practice may feel difficult because the mind naturally wants certainty. It wants to predict every outcome and avoid every possible disappointment. But the Stoics taught that certainty is an illusion. The only thing you truly possess is this present moment and the choices you make within it. When you accept this truth, your attention becomes sharper because it is no longer scattered across countless imaginary problems. Remember, your focus is like a flame. Every unnecessary worry is a gust of wind trying to extinguish it. Protect that flame by directing your attention toward your actions, your character, and your purpose. The more you practice this Stoic habit, the calmer and more productive you will become. And once you've learned to control where your attention goes, you're ready for the next habit, one that will strengthen your discipline by teaching you to embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. Habit 3. Embrace discomfort to build unbreakable discipline. If there is one habit that separates disciplined people from those who constantly struggle with distractions, it is their willingness to do what is difficult. Most people wait until they feel motivated before taking action. The Stoics believed this was a mistake. They understood that feelings come and go, but character is built through consistent action. If you only work when you feel inspired, your progress will always depend on your emotions. But if you learn to act despite discomfort, your focus becomes stronger every single day. Seneca often reminded his students not to become slaves to comfort. He believed that a life spent chasing ease would eventually create weakness. Comfort itself isn't the enemy, but becoming dependent on it is. When every task must feel enjoyable before you begin, procrastination takes control of your life. Important work gets delayed, opportunities disappear, and your confidence slowly fades. The Stoics chose a different path. They trained themselves to remain steady even when life became uncomfortable because they knew discipline grows where comfort ends. Think about the last time you had an important task to complete. Perhaps it was studying for an exam, finishing a project, exercising, or learning a new skill. Before you even started, your mind probably suggested easier alternatives. Check your phone first. Watch one more video. You can always do it tomorrow. These thoughts feel harmless, but repeated often enough, they become habits. Every time you obey them, you teach your brain that immediate comfort is more important than long-term success. Marcus Aurelius wrote that each morning he reminded himself why he had been given another day. He wasn't born simply to remain comfortable. He was born to fulfill his responsibilities and contribute something meaningful to the world. That perspective transformed ordinary work into a duty of character. Instead of asking whether he felt like working, he asked whether the work itself was worth doing. This simple shift in thinking allowed him to remain productive even during some of the most difficult periods of his life. You can practice this habit in simple but powerful ways. Wake up when your alarm rings instead of pressing the snooze button. Finish your most challenging task before checking social media. Spend 30 minutes reading a meaningful book instead of endlessly scrolling through your phone. Exercise even on the days when motivation is absent. None of these actions seem extraordinary on their own, but together they strengthen the part of your mind responsible for discipline and self-control. Imagine your discipline as a muscle. Every difficult choice is another repetition that makes it stronger. Every time you resist an unnecessary distraction, you increase your ability to stay focused in the future. On the other hand, every time you surrender to comfort without thinking, that mental muscle grows weaker. The Stoics understood that greatness isn't achieved through one heroic act. It is built through thousands of small decisions that nobody else sees. There will be days when staying focused feels almost impossible. Your mind will search for excuses, and distractions will seem more attractive than your goals. Those are the moments that matter most. Anyone can remain disciplined when life is easy. The true test of character appears when comfort invites you to quit. If you continue anyway, you prove to yourself that your purpose is stronger than your temporary emotions. As you begin embracing discomfort instead of avoiding it, something remarkable happens. Difficult tasks no longer seem intimidating. Your confidence grows because you've repeatedly shown yourself that you can act even when it isn't easy. That confidence becomes the foundation for lasting focus. And once you've developed the courage to face discomfort, you're ready for the next Stoic habit, learning to guard your time as if it were your most valuable possession.